What up, what up? We already asked one question to every NFC team, and if I haven't got to your favorite team yet, we are right now. Today, we've got to talk about one question I have for every AFC team. The AFC has a little bit of an advantage now, right? It's week 6 as I'm recording this right now before Thursday Night Football. Chiefs Broncos tonight. Probably not going to change too much. I feel like I already know who's going to win that game, but we'll see. We'll see. I guess we can't get too confident. Even though my pick's been looking good. If you haven't been following up, hey, check my videos. Check my prediction videos. They've been looking nice. I've been doing real well. So that's what's up. We got to talk about one question for every AFC team. Let's hop right into it. Cincinnati Bengals is a team I want to start with because, as you know, I just posted a video not too long ago asking Cincinnati what the heck is up. And they responded, though it was just a win against the Arizona Cardinals, who aren't the best team in the league anyways. But we still got to ask, can they pull it together? Is this the start of something? We know last year that they started the season 0-2, still found their way in an AFC championship game. So now, can they pull it together? Can they build momentum? The AFC is not getting dominated right now. It is not. I mean, there are some one-loss teams, but there's no undefeated teams left in the AFC. There's still a lot of room for improvement. A lot of times where these teams, these top-end teams, got to go against each other still. And so there's room for Cincy to still get a 2, 3, even a 1 seed still in the AFC if they can pull it together. Now, they don't control their own destiny, of course, but is this momentum builder? Are they back on their feet? Are they going to find their rhythm? Moving up to their rivals in Pittsburgh, and what are we going to do to overcome these offensive struggles? What is the cause of these offensive struggles? Because we know they have weapons. We know George Pickens is a solid receiver in year 2. We know that Najee Harris is a good running back. Warren, I forgot his first name right now. Apologize. He's a dog, so he deserves my respect. But Warren has been outplaying Najee Harris. Could we see a switch there even? What is going on? Matt Canada just has not figured it out. The offensive coordinator there in Pitt. Is Kenny Pickett the guy? Is Kenny Pickett being constrained? We know when Kenny Pickett audibled, Pittsburgh had better success moving the football. Is Matt Canada to blame? Is the offensive line just not great? It's not great, we know that. But is it like that bad where it's causing issues? Is Kenny Pickett just not an elite leader? Is he just not? What is going on? I just need answers. Right now, I'm leaning towards the system just doesn't fit Kenny Pickett. His run style, his mobile moving that we saw in Pitt in college, it just doesn't seem to fit him. It doesn't seem to fit the team. It doesn't seem like a very power back like Najee Harris is, suitable offense. So either they've got to change their offense and their offensive coordinator, or they need to change the personnel, probably starting at the quarterback position. So that could be rough sledding. Baltimore, man, they just took a tough loss to the Steelers come week 5. And what are they going to do to bounce back? We just saw too many mistakes from that offense. The receivers were just running the wrong routes. They were tripping on their routes. They weren't catching the football. 6 drops, 6 missed opportunities, right? That's huge. And especially in a low-scoring game against an elite defense. We know how good the Steel Curtain is. But it's the Steelers. It's the Steelers. They're not that good of a football team. Ravens, they expect to be that. They expect to be 0 loss right now. What can we do to get some wide receiver help? Is Zay Flowers just going to continue to improve each week? Probably. He's a rookie. Cut him some slack. He's been explosive on some plays, just misses on the others. Is Odell fully healthy and has some rust on him? Absolutely. Could he improve throughout the season? Absolutely, and I think he will. So I don't think there's a need to press a panic button, but I wouldn't mind going out and making a trade for maybe a Jerry Jeudy. We've seen that name on the trade block for the Denver Broncos. Maybe we really throw it out depending on how bad the Raiders are come trade deadline. Maybe we'll get a Devontae Adams. Maybe we go get a Romeo Doubs. There's some options out there on the table. We also expect in-house the Ravens are going to get better at the receiving core. Cleveland, is Watson your guy? Is Deshaun Watson the man? And I think that's really a decision we need to start making here. Do we want to build around Watson, or do we just want to redraft a new quarterback? We know it's a deep quarterback draft coming up. But there's also a lot of NFC teams with some quarterback issues, not to mention a few here in the AFC that we'll talk about later. I don't know. We have to decide that over the next couple games. They just came off their bye week. We'll see what the Browns are able to do. Are they able to compete in the AFC North? And I expect that they probably could. They don't have the elite weapons. Amari Cooper just isn't consistent again this year. And that's not totally his fault. He's had some injuries. Deshaun Watson hasn't been consistent himself. So, and it's hard to do without Nick Chubb being that threat, having that elite weapon with you. So we just don't know. And I think that's what we really want to figure out. Let's move over to the AFC East. New England. You had a great run. Great run. A lot of success. You had Brady for how many years? Got 6 rings out of him. Okay? But are you ready for a full rebuild? We kind of prolonged it, drafted Mac Jones, thought that was going to be the answer, had Cam Newton for a minute. We're a very mediocre team. But I think enough is enough. I think you got to stop running away from the inevitable. But are you ready? New England, are you ready to enter rebuild mode? To tank, get a new quarterback, figure some things out. The defense is not terrible. You're building weapons there, like Christian Gonzalez, who looked great before his season-ending injury. But are you ready? And I don't think they are. And is Belichick going to be there for the rebuild? And I think the answer is no. I think we just need to move on. We might even need to move on from the Crafts. Just sell the organization. Move on from Belichick. Just start completely fresh. You had a great, great dynasty that nobody can ever take away from you. But it might be time to move on. Miami, what can we do to limit the turnovers? How can we keep Tua in check, make sure that we're not making errant passes? He's still a young quarterback. He's still going to make bad decisions. He tries to do too much. When you're surrounded by athletes playing at a high level, you want to fit in, right? Especially as the quarterback, especially as the leader. Your guys have faith in you. You want to go show out for them. But sometimes that's costing him. We saw 2 picks that shouldn't have been picks against the New York Giants. One of them going for 102 yards the other way. So what can we do? What can Mike McDaniel do to settle him down? Build that confidence. That's the only thing holding your offense back. Buffalo, convince me. I want to be a Bills fan. But you got to sell me. You don't look much different than you did the past few years. Nothing looks much better about you. You still have Stephon Diggs drama. And I don't want to put any blame on Diggs. I think he's an elite level football player, and I think he's just passionate, and I love it. I'm all here for it. And I'm glad Josh Allen came out this week and was like, yo, chill on Diggs. And we just haven't seen this team, who now probably has a worse running game than ever. They get so close, but they just can't get over the hump, and I'm not convinced. So what are we ready to make some moves? Are we going to make some moves? Are we going to go get another weapon? Are we going to go get a running back? Maybe a trade for a Jonathan Taylor? I know he just signed that extension, but maybe an Aaron Jones? I don't know. We got to figure out something to get us over the hump because we still aren't there. So why should I believe it? What are you going to do to get yourself over the hump? That's my question for the Buffalo Bills. New York Jets, can Zach Wilson be good enough? He doesn't have to be great. He does not have to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. Can he be enough to manage this offense behind that elite defense that scores just about as much as their offense at this point to get you in the playoff position? And is Aaron Rodgers' recovery going as well as he says he is? Can he come back to the playoffs? Can he come back week 17, week 18? Get some momentum, get some rhythm, shake off the rust real quick, and maybe make a playoff push? Not even a playoff push, but like a playoff run? I think Zach could. I really think Zach could. I think he's just a few steps away. He's getting a little better each and every day. And I like to see it. I think he's a lot more teachable, a lot more humble this year, and it's doing wonders for him. He's still just missing. Can he be good enough? Again, we're not looking for an all-pro. We're not looking for you to be Aaron Rodgers. We're looking to get this team to the playoffs so Aaron Rodgers can come take over and take you to the next level. Texans, how do we build around Stroud? I think he's proven it. I think he has done enough already this year to say, hey, this is our guy. We believe in C.J. Stroud. We got a great connection with Nico Collins. Tank Dell's been all right when he was healthy. But those aren't elite level receivers. We don't have a great running game. We don't have a great defense. How can we what is your timeline? I guess that's a better question. What is your timeline for your build around C.J. Stroud? What can you do this year to get yourself in a better position? Because you don't even have your first round pick. You traded it to the Cardinals for Will Anderson. So what can you do this year to keep getting better? Keep improving. What is your timeline? What is your goals? That's what I want to know, and I want you to show me. Show me by making a trade. Go get an elite free agent this offseason. So maybe this question's a little bit early for the Texans, but I had to ask something. The Colts, oh my goodness, Anthony Richardson, hey, looks like a menace. I love watching this dude play. For real, for real. But you gotta keep him protected. It's giving me hardcore RG3 vibes. Hardcore. We know he's an athlete. He can throw the football. He is better with his legs, but he can throw the football. But man, every time you see him run and he doesn't get down very well, he makes a play, but you just gotta brace yourself every time he takes a hit. And that's just scary. You don't want to see your quarterback be doing this. I mean, we've seen it work with RG3. We've seen it work with a few other quarterbacks. But not for long. 2-3 years. Maybe you get to the playoffs 2-3 years. Maybe at best. What the Colts, what can we do to stop Anthony Richardson from getting hurt? We already have a great offensive line. We know that's not the problem. I think it's play calling. Play calling and taking another load off his shoulders by getting him a weapon on the receiving end. You know, maybe running the football a little bit more because Zach Moss has looked great. And Jonathan Taylor's back. Why don't we keep upping their touches? That's what's worked, right? We've got to protect Anthony Richardson. Out for 4 to 6 weeks at this point. It's just sad. And I'm excited for Minshew Mania. I think if you've watched my videos, you know I'm excited for Minshew Mania. I love it. I'm here for it all the time. But Anthony Richardson is somebody who I was excited about. And I want to see him play at an elite level. But we got to stay healthy to do that. So the Colts, got to protect your guy. Titans, what the freak are you doing? Like, are you trying to win? Are you trying to be bad? You really think you're going to make a playoff run with an old DeAndre Hopkins, with an old Ryan Tannehill, with Derrick Henry is not what he was 2-3 years ago. I don't think that was necessarily Derrick Henry's fault. It's just not a great team. It's just not. But it feels like they're trying to compete, which I respect, right? I don't hate that. But we got to have some sort of direction. Like, why did we go out and sign DeAndre Hopkins? Jersey sales? Maybe build some hype? Did we really think Ryan Tannehill was going to be able to get him the ball effectively? And when he does, D-Hop still ball. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. You can't compete with the Jaguars, right? So what are you doing? What are your next options? Are you going to sell at the trade deadline? Are you going to be buyers? Maybe really make a push? Maybe go get yourself a quarterback like Kirk Cousins? What do you think? Jacksonville, we got to put some games together. We got to put some games together. We got to stay consistent. We got to get consistent, right? Week 1, we looked great. Calvin Ridley looked great. Evan Ingram looked great. Everything was cracking, right? Then we pick up a couple losses in there. We didn't look good. Offense was not flowing. We lost to the Chiefs when it was like, what, at 9-12 or something? I don't know. It was a low-scoring game when you have Trevor Lawrence and Patrick Mahomes going head-to-head. Now we go into London. We whoop the Falcons. Travis Etienne goes nuts. Calvin Ridley has another good game. Ingram doing his thing. Can we stay consistent? Can we get consistent? Can we put 2-3 games in a row together to show, hey, we're a threat? They're hanging in there with the big boys in the AFC. Like I said, the AFC doesn't have any undefeated teams. So they're in there. They're in there, and they can, if they go on a run here, staying consistent, it could be trouble. Chiefs, is this offense good enough? Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce can do all they can to drag that team to wins. But in the playoffs, somebody's got to step up. And nobody's having good games this year. Kadarius Toney, too many drops. 3 Chiefs are tied for first in drops in the NFL. Travis Kelce being one of them, and Kadarius Toney and Rashee Rice. All 3 of them have 3+ drops. Is this offensive good enough to be what Patrick Mahomes has made this team to be in their 2 Super Bowl wins? Broncos, what's next? What are we doing? We tried this Russell Wilson experiment. That didn't go so hot. We tried it again by bringing in a new coach, Sean Payton. Sean Payton said a lot of bold things, tried to light a fire under his team, and I respect it. I love it, honestly. I love it. So what's next? You going to fire Payton? You going to get rid of Russell Wilson? We going to draft a new quarterback? What's up? And I think the move is we do draft a new quarterback, but we let Russell Wilson kind of be that veteran, right? We know Russ was a good quarterback in Seattle. Maybe it was a system. Maybe it was that he had Marshawn Lynch, Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett. Russ is still a good football IQ, to say the least. He doesn't always look like it on these Sundays, but he can coach up a young rook. I don't know if Sean Payton's the man for it. If he wants to be there for the long haul, sure, let's make it happen. But I think that's what we got to start rebuilding them as well. Chargers, How good are they actually? Started off 0-2, and then 1-2. Went into week 5 with a bye, going 2-0 over the last 2 games. But they lost some games that they probably shouldn't have, right? And I mean, Miami had a great offense, so I'm not too mad about the Miami loss, especially week 1. You know, it's kind of hard to get your rhythm. Even though Justin Herbert has looked good in those 2 losses, how good are they actually? And we're just a couple weeks away from getting Austin Eckler back, if not this week. You know, and we want to see him back, give some support there. That defense has to step up like they did against the Raiders. Khalil Mack with his 6 sacks. Can he do it again? Can he keep putting pressure on with Joey Bosa on the other side? We got to see more from that duo consistently. But I think they're going to be good. And last but not least is those Raiders. Las Vegas. Is Jimmy G the guy? Jimmy G the guy. I think he has more interceptions than touchdowns at like 6 and 7. 7 interceptions already. 3 just last week. But is Jimmy, he's struggled. To say the least, he has struggled. He has not looked great. Is he your guy? Do we need to rebuild? Do we need to get a new quarterback? Do we get a Kirk Cousins? Do we draft a rookie? I don't know. Do we try to fill it out with Jimmy Garoppolo? I'm not sure what the answer is. And I'm scared if you do go into a rebuild, you lose guys like Devontae Adams, like Josh Jacobs, you know, who are elite and don't want to waste their prime years in a rebuild. We got to find a different option. What is the move? Where's the quarterback move? I think it was a good shot. I think it was a good risk to getting Jimmy Garoppolo, but it's not panning out, is it? We give it more time? So that's my one question for the AFC, every team in the AFC. So I have asked your favorite team a question, and let me know what it was. What was the question? What is your response? Hit me down below whether you're in the AFC or your favorite team is in the NFC. Go back to watch that video and let me know how's it going, what the answer is to my question, and let me know what your questions are.